let's pop in the South Beach first before we go forward.
Oh my God!
If you stayed healthy, would have been still be playing.
Everybody think that our most important player was Bron. Our most important player, not our best player, but our most important player was CB.
Yeah, damn.
He was our most important player. Because if Bron went down, you could bring in D Wade, and it's not the same player, but you're gonna get similar results of what you're gonna get out of the player, making plays. He can go for 30. We couldn't simulate it. We didn't have another CB. If that went down and he got hurt, we didn't have another one of those.
And the way Spo started using him too was impossible to guard. Like he was shooting threes. Like he was.
That's why
that man was cold, brother.
He closed it out on threes as a big.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that was back when no one
threes
no one
too.
did that.
Pick a pop threes.
Heat culture.
Is he not?
Argument,
There's an argument. I mean,
There's an argument. He was telling the truth.
Wait a minute. You thought I was gonna come with only one of LeBron's old teammates.
here comes Norris Cole.
You've got a new challenger.
Oh my God, I was right.
Shut up, my dog Koala.
Big
This is
Cole.
one of my friend's favorite player in history. I swear to God.
He really just put it out. It was a couple of,
Because obviously Bron, everything started with Bron. But what UD said was correct. We ain't had nobody else like CB. If Bron went out, nobody is Bron, but D Wade can put on a clinic and put 35, 40 up, get 8 assists for a couple series if we needed him to. If CB was out for too long, we had nobody else like him to create those mismatches. So in the context of what he's talking about, it's fact. It is a fact. Bron was our best player, but without CB, we don't win those champs because he's the only model like him on our team. No one was 6'9", 6'10", who could pick and pop, who could pick a short roll, who can also ISO, who can guard multiple positions, who can lead our small ball lineup. We ain't had nobody else like that. We just didn't.
Oh, my bad.
And if Bron, obviously, like I said, we all know who Bron is, but D Wade is used to. It's easy for D Wade to step up and do more. If God forbid something would have happened to Bron during the series or whatever. When we lost CB, we sustained as long as we could, but when he came back, we became unbeatable. Like when he came back from his when he tore his lower abdominal muscle, he was out for a stretch of games. We struggled. We made it happen, but we struggled. But when he came back, he came back playoff. We became unbeatable when he came back.
And we know Mario Chalmers be on Bron Dick, so
I mean, the argument it sounds very, very similar to how Celtics fans talk about Kristaps Porzingis. Like no one is saying Kristaps Porzingis is the best player on the team.
I'm not talking about the fans be so. I'm talking about the players on the team.
Okay, I mean I don't think they're hating. Is that the question? What's the question?
Why they can't let it? First of all, this is hate.
I guess if you take
Can
it
you
that way.
explain? Elaborate. How is this hate?
The most important player for the Miami Heat is Chris Bosh.
Yes.
Not your multiple-time MVP, multiple-time finals MVP.
What I was about to say at the end of my statement was I still disagree, but I see where they're coming from. Because again, Celtics fans talk about KP the same way. Because when he's on the court, we're a completely different team. But Jason Tatum's still our best player.
It's a matter of how you view basketball. Someone's in chat just typed, it's like that. It's like, was Draymond the most important warrior?
Yeah.
Is Ibaka like one of the more important Thunder players? Like it's one of those things where exactly it's you'll have a situation where someone will go.
Gasol the most important Laker.
Yeah,
Gasol.
Yes.
Okay, he's
like
consistent.
That.
He's consistent. Then.
So it's one of those things where it's like, who is that player? Who is that player on the team where nothing works without them in terms of the schematic? However, where I'll always say it's the situation where we're just giving another player their flowers or their credit versus just being completely fair is because as casual as it sounds, man, look, y'all ain't got no LeBron. Y'all ain't winning no finals. So hey, I'm gonna put this shoulder up and say y'all be good. Y'all would probably, and I probably get booed out of the section for this. They're probably a better team if you delete LeBron and coach for that than deleting Bosh and coach for that. This probably, maybe, I guess, in terms of getting wins, but in terms of winning the ring, man. So I don't necessarily call it hate. That's where I disagree with Omar. But I'm definitely more so in the line of B-Souls. I disagree with the idea that he was more important, but he definitely like it's an argument. I'm not mad at Damo for disagreeing. This is the most neutral take I've had thus far in like the past 4 pods because I really it's an argument to me.
It's like when you ask someone who's the X factor of a team, like what does the X factor of a team mean to you? Like is it their best player or like this one dude who, you know, if they play like this, they're at a different level. If they're not on the court,
it's like the offensive line or the quarterback type shit. It's like one of those.
In what conversation is an X factor even considered the best player on a team? In no context of having a conversation where someone asks who's the X factor of the series, you don't say the best player. If we look back in the history, and we're just gonna keep it basketball, fuck other sports. In the history of basketball, it is you will scarcely find a team that if you remove the best player, they still win a championship. Duh. That's common sense. Everybody knows that. The best player is the best player for a reason. No one's going to argue that. But if you look at the makeup of those Heat teams, if you're telling me in a situation where in this context, LeBron goes down, they will rely on D-Wade to be the best player. Versus if Chris Bosh goes down, who's replacing him? Haslam, Joel Anthony, Dexter Pittman, Ilgauskas 1 year. Like there is nobody. Rashard Lewis past his prime. Like there's nobody. Shane Battier, nigga. Like there's nobody that if Chris Bosh goes down, you are comfortable, safe, or rely on to step up and fulfill that role. That is literally the conversation. All I heard UD say was, if Chris Bosh goes down, we're screwed. We don't have any other player to do anything like that. With LeBron, and he even said it, with LeBron, D-Wade can do similar things. He can score the ball for us, play make for others, be the star. Even Norris Cole chimed in. Yo, LeBron, he goes down. He's our best. Cole said it himself. LeBron's our best player. They both said it. LeBron's the best player. But if he goes down, R2 can elevate his game and fulfill that role. We have someone to play similar to that role, and our engine still goes. If Chris Bosh goes down, we don't have a single player like that. And that is the situation with every great team when you say the most important piece. If Draymond goes down for the Warriors, there is no other Draymond variant on that team. You can't find it. If Pau Gasol goes down, the Lakers are fucked. There is no variant that's going to be able to fulfill that role of a Pau Gasol. Same thing with the Bulls. Hey, we done with the 90s, but that no left-handed menace, it looked real easy for him when Pippen's there. If Pippen not there, that thing is getting fondled by everybody. We've seen the late 80s, they were fondling Jordan because Pip wasn't ready. But when Pip got there, he handled so many things, and he won. If you listen to old heads, they'll tell you, hey, Jordan was the GOAT, but Pippen was the most important Bull. Hence, he was there for all 6.
If Kobe goes down, who's replacing Kobe?
Derek Fisher.
What?
If Kobe goes down, who's replacing Kobe?
Nobody.
So was Pau Gasol the most important, or was Kobe the most important?
And he ends his turn.
1-1.
No, it's not 1-1 because I even said if you take the best player, you take the best player off any team, they don't win. Is Kobe the best player, Omar?
Yeah.
If you take him off the team, is the team winning, Omar? So then you agree with me. What are we doing?
Listen. Your whole point about, because you said Pau Gasol was the most important player, right?
Yes.
So if you take away Pau Gasol, you think the Lakers are winning?
No.
So Kobe and Pau Gasol are the most important players?
Kobe's the best player. Kobe's the best player. Pau is the most important. Just like with the Warriors, Stephen Curry is the best player. Draymond is the most important for the team.
Okay, so what's the difference? How
one player is carrying the workload? One player is the best. The player that the team is built around. But you also have it to it. You also have a player that literally does A, B, C amount of things that are key and vital to you winning a championship, because no one player can win a championship. It's a ton of best players on teams, but if you don't have that piece that can do everything around that player in any team in history, they don't win. You can't name a team that has an all-time player but did not have a quality role player, had a dirty work guy, had a guy that could do it all or did whatever was needed for winning. And you can find them like that's not a thing.
I agree with you, but with that being said,
You're playing semantic basketball with me. You're playing semantic games. You're playing games of semantics. You're arguing me about definitions. And Omar, I'm not about to do this with you. I'm going to tell you this.
When Damo cuts
teams
me off,
can have you have teams. You can have a no, because you're not about to try to do this genjutsu. Hey, buddy.
I'm asking you questions.
Release, buddy. You're not
a contender.
And all you're doing is asking me. You're going to keep
He's my
asking
bias.
the same repetitive ass questions,
No,
trying
I'm
to get me to
not.
tell you the difference between best and most important, trying to bury it down to the best player is the most important. You're not going to get me, buddy. I am telling you, two things can be true. A team can have a best player, and a team can have a most important player. In history of the NBA, that has always been the case. Every team had majority of teams. I'm not going to say every because I don't know off the top of my head. Majority of the teams, especially in the modern era of basketball, had a best player and a player that you could deem most important to that team. And we already said again, we both agree. If you take the best player off of any team, they're not winning. We both agree there.
I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. I am just asking, could the same things that you said about Pau Gasol not be said about a lot of players on the Lakers?
No, not a lot of players. Then I would ask you, how many is a lot?
I'd say more than two.
More than two? I don't think so.
Okay.
You go.
On that 11 Lakers, if we're talking about the 10 or the 09 Lakers, more than two players, I don't know. I think Pau Gasol, and we're talking about just important, and Kobe is still there. Pau Gasol, and in my opinion, I would say one of the forwards that was defending. So Ron Artest or Trevor Ariza, give or take, are the two. That would be the two. After that, I feel is capable of winning without anybody else. If those other guys are still there, we can still win with somebody else.
Okay, so if you take away Trevor Ariza, you take away Ron Artest, what do you think happens?
And Pau Gasol and Kobe are still there?
Pau Gasol, Kobe are still there. Y'all play the Jazz in the first round. Rockets.
I think we end up losing. I think we end up losing.
So at that point, how do you determine who's the most important player? If you take off Kobe, y'all losing. You take off Pau, I didn't even really ask, but I'm assuming y'all losing. You take off TA, y'all losing. That's three people.
Yeah.
Who is the most important player in that situation then?
I already told you. Pau Gasol is the most important. Kobe is the best.
So what's the difference? But you said TA as well. So what's the difference between Pau and Trevor Ariza in this conversation?
Tiers of importance. Pau is more important than Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza is too important.
Here comes a new challenger.
He's cooking, chat.
I didn't even bring up.
Pull it up, chat. Pull it up. Come on.
I didn't even bring up Lamar.
We're heading into game 5.
You didn't bring up Lamar. Yep.
So why is Trevor Ariza, or hell, we can continue down Meta World Peace. Why are they a tier below
Pau Gasol in terms of importance?
Yeah.
They're a tier below because the defense that they provide on the perimeter next to a Kobe and to relieve that stress from Kobe and allow him to still be the Mamba on offense. And again, I'm reflecting back to when I was a fucking child watching this, but the importance they played on defense would still make them important. The fact that they were clearly not as great as Pau offensively and could carry an offensive workload that Pau Gasol can would be why they are less important than Pau. Which is why Pau is most important. Pau Gasol any given night is like a 2000s Anthony Davis for that Lakers team. He could be one of the better offensive players and the best defender that night for us. Any given game.
If I'm not mistaken, y'all played some pretty good perimeter guys at key moments.
Mm-hmm. Which is why if they weren't there, it will be up to Kobe to try to defend. And God forbid we played a team with multiple perimeter guys.
Yeah, like the Celtics. Because Paul Pierce played not too well. And I could almost assume that he was played by Meta World Peace Am I wrong? on
Artest
that?
doesn't hit that three. We
And
might win off
2010.
that alone.
And
I'm about to say, yeah, Artest don't hit the three.
there's a good amount of perimeter guys for the Suns, and I don't know if Kobe can guard all of them. Now, if we're gonna say Pau was guarding Amari, they could play like big trash. Amari was eating
And
that.
any given moment, Andrew Bynum, goofy ass, would be injured. So Powell has now the responsibilities of full-time center. So solo post presence next to goddamn Josh Powell. No, that might be two different teams. I said Josh Powell.
Alexis Ajinga. No,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you said that year.
I mean, I hear it.
DJ Mingba.
Listen, the best player is the most important player to me. Simple as that to me.
Damn.
It was
80%
DJ, by the
down.
way.
Damn.
Because he talked more. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. They said it was a sweep. KNG game. They said it was 52-9.
Damo's done this before, where it's just like I'm a cut you off type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now
go
ahead.
We can repoll.
No, we don't have to repoll. I
If I
just
gifted, we can.
A repo, 5 gifted repo.
The concept of the best player not being the most important player is another one of those ESPN humdrum. I'm gonna give out a pity award, blase blase blah.
Damn, you're Wikipedia.
We just want to give out. We want to give out more awards for these people, and that's fine. That's fine, I guess. But in reality, niggas say you are just yapping. Come up. The thing is out. The thing is the shit is out. We legitimately have the StreamYard link out.
No.
Yes, man. It's pinned in the chat, y'all.
I'm about to say, come on,
ahead.
guys.
I really just don't. The best player is the most important player. It is what it is.
Now, it's funny when you said that I just cut you off. And when I said all you're going to do is find a roundabout way to say that the best player is the most important player, you told me that's not what I was going to say. And that's how you just ended what you just said.
I was just
testing the best player is the most important
consistency, to be quite honest with you. And we could go down the lineage of all these different things, but I was just testing your consistency, to be honest.
So you know me. I'm Mr. Consistency more times than not. I can't.
Who is more times than not now? Okay.
More times than not.
Who was the most important player on the Bucks championship the other year?
The most important player on the Bucks 2021? Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday was? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming the best was. All right. What about when the Nuggets won recently?
The recent one for the Nuggets, the most important?
Mm-hmm.
It's too easy to say. It's too easy to say that Jokic is probably one of those rare cases where the best is the most important. But if I'm going to be Mr. Consistency on this one, I would say KCP or Aaron Gordon. One of those two.
It has to be one of them.
What makes
one,
Jokic?
I would say more Aaron Gordon more than Jokic.
What makes Jokic like the special case?
Here comes a new challenger.
I'm not challenging. I'm just asking.
No. Because of how that team ran offensively, literally he was the hub for that team.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's two sides to the basketball court. Not saying that Jokic is a cone, but defensively, what Aaron Gordon allowed that team to do and what he had to deal with, not what he had to deal with, just what he was doing, I would say kind of like a runner, not a lesser, but kind of a runner test type of ordeal. Because of how much he had on his plate defensively, yeah, nigga, that team, it wouldn't be no engine. Like you, who gives a fuck about offense at that point? You're the Pacers at that point if he's not there. You're the Pacers.
And I'm assuming you would say for Toronto when they won, it was Pascal Siakam or something like that?
No, for Toronto, I would say between Marc Gasol or Kyle Lowry.
Okay, so somebody not Kawhi, one of them.
Yeah, not Kawhi, yeah.
Okay. And any of the Spurs teams in like the early 2000s?
2000 Spurs team again. Other time, I would have to go back and look at who. It's so that those are the filler rings. I have to go back and look at who were on them teams. I would have to. No, I'm trying
we
to.
Done with the 2000s. Told y'all.
But
man.
that might be one of, and those might be one of those cases where Tim Duncan is the best player, is the most important.
And then the same thing with 05-06 Miami.
Oh shit!
Oh, the Q&A getting packed. By the way, they are not scared this time.
Just 05-06 Miami. Just 05-06 Miami.
Alonzo Mourning.
Nah, I want to say Zoe.
Probably
I'm trying
Shaq.
to think who perimeter defenders were at that time.
I got you, man. Come on.
I'm not reaching. I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make sure.
I
Is it
looked up the
Shaq?
Miami Floridan. Sorry.
Nah, I was still. I'll say D Wade just because of the lack of knowledge. I would say D Wade. Another case of the best player being the most important.
The
But even
defenders,
in my argument, I say if you go back through the course of history, I mean more times than not.
Yeah.
So I left it for the room for the exceptions. There are exceptions.
they had Zoe, GP, Posey, UD, Jason Williams, Antoine Walker, and Shaq getting playoff minutes for real. Outside of Dwayne Wade, of course.
Young UD.
Yeah, you're right. Young UD. 25-year-old Udonis Haslem.